I went live the first time. Yeah, live again. What a day it was today. Well, I mean, the day is only just 11 in the morning, and 11. And so Monday, and the support will be coming up. And yeah, it's a fairly cloudy weather today, but it's supposed to be warm again today. I think it was supposed to be 25 degrees today. I already forgot. Let me just double check the weather for Australia, Campbell, Australia, or Campbell, ACT, where we are in the southern suburb of Campbell. 25 degrees. Okay, it's 26 today. It feels like 25. Interesting. In Austria, in Vienna, it's only 10. In Vienna, Austria, it's only 10 degrees. In Amphoing, Upper Austria, it's a municipality in Austria. Amphoing is a municipality in Austria, where I went to vacation for 3 weeks. There, it's only 8 degrees because it's autumn there now. So it's 8 degrees there. It's supposed to be, it's only 7 at the moment. It started with 4. And apparently it's raining there until 11 in the morning. It's supposed to be rain there. We have rain at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock tonight, we've got some rain as well. It's supposed to be a lot of rain tomorrow. It's only going to be 11 degrees tomorrow. Oh yeah, it's supposed to rain. Looks like it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Which means you can't take the dogs for a walk. You can't take them for a walk in the rain. Especially my sister's dog doesn't like going outside when it's wet. So yeah. I slept till 7:30 in the morning, and well, I would have had a longer sleep in, but I had to get up because my snozzy was blocked, and then of course it was too warm under the blankets for me, so that's why I decided to get up. Of course, I don't live stream at night, obviously, honestly. I mean, who live streams while they're sleeping? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Still, even if I live stream at night, I wouldn't be able to, because obviously this is not appropriate, but I wouldn't be able to, because it wouldn't be appropriate, because obviously when I'm sleeping, it's been like, I haven't worn pajamas in like, I don't even know, for a long time actually. So I can't be live streaming, when I'm going to bed, because you can't live stream this, that's not, that you can get into trouble for that. You can't be showing that on live stream. Definitely not, you can't be showing that on YouTube, because that'd be inappropriate. That's why I can't, I don't live stream myself when I'm sleeping. Although I did, on this channel on my personal channel in Austria, but I was going to do posted that was on Dad's computer, and then it was closed, obviously folded. But usually it goes to sleep when it's folded, but I had it turned off at the time, and well, now I don't. And I had to make all my OneDrive stuff available online only, so I needed, because I was using my Dad's computer in Upper Austria when we went to Austria, and well, I ended up, it's because he only that's it's a Surface Book 2. No, they don't make this anymore. They don't, since it was in America, and it only has one hard drive, which is the operating system drive, and I ended up accidentally filling up all the storage. And of course, Dad couldn't, because Dad doesn't puts in all everything he buys, puts it into something called Microsoft Money, which you can't download anymore. And because the storage is full, you cannot save the backup, because Dad always backs it up before he closes the Money application. You can't do that if the storage is full. You can't save the backup, and that's unfortunately what was happening. And that was annoyed, because he needed to save that, but there was not enough storage, and I tried to fix it, but I wasn't sure how. So I had to remove the OneDrive from Dad's computer. I had to delete my OneDrive from Dad's computer in order to fix that. Unfortunately, I had to delete my OneDrive from Dad's computer and make everything available online only, because that way it doesn't use to. Because I only download the files that I actually need. Because that way I won't fill up too much storage. I only download the files I actually need. That way I don't fill up too much storage, obviously, because I only download the files. I only download the files that I actually need. So yeah. My account is still on Dad's computer. It's just disabled, deactivated. Because obviously I've got my computer here. I don't need to use Dad's computer here when I'm at home in Canberra, because I've got my own computer here. Two screens. I've got a 2-screen setup. One of them is a BenQ BL2400. It's a 1920 by 1080 monitor. The other one is a 1680 by 1050, which is a Dell. What was it? Where's the model? I thought it just says it on the front of the module like it does up there. I don't see the model. It must be at the back. No, it's not at the back either. Oh wait, the label's not there. Oh, don't talk. It's a Dell. The Dell ET2M. No, ET28 MFPC. So that's the model for this small Dell model. It used to belong to my ex-farm buddy here in Canberra. But now he got an all-in-one computer because the other one was slow. So now that monitor used to belong to my ex-farm buddy. It was from his old computer because now he's got an all-in-one computer. An all-in-one computer is basically, there's a screen that's all built into one thing. The monitor. It's all built into one. So I believe that. I believe those are touch screens, but normal monitors, they're not touch screens. You can't just, there's a lot of people, who are used to using touch screens. So, but you don't want to try and use a touch screen that's not a touch screen because you could damage it. Plus, you would leave fingerprints all over the screen, which wouldn't be a very smart thing to do. To leave fingerprints all over the computer monitor. Then that would be disgusting. You don't want to be doing that. Oops. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. No. I'm trying to. Because I'm using, I've got too much stuff open. Why do I still have Spotify open? Okay, I have to quickly mute this temporarily because I don't want to play copyrighted music on my live stream because otherwise I'm going to get copyrighted. I just have to mute it because I don't want to get copyrighted on my live stream. There we go, close that. I don't need BlueStacks open either. Or VS. I have a better gaming setup now. Because when I was in Australia, I got 450 euros, which is equal to 750 Australian dollars. And it's a good thing, I got all that money because otherwise I wouldn't be able to buy what I have now. If I didn't have all that money, I wouldn't have been able to invest that. I wouldn't have been able to buy all the stuff I have now. No, I wouldn't be able to buy all this, because if it wasn't, if I didn't have all that money. So, oh shit. Oh no, careful. So obviously, so this is my main monitor. Just a 1920 by 1080 BenQ BL2400. Then my second one is a Dell 1680 by 1050 monitor, slightly smaller. So we had to get the plexiglass pre-cut and all that. I'm causing an infinity because the last stream's on that screen. This is my main screen. I've got my browser open. Yes, and I go on Instagram. But I don't go on social media too much because it can be distracting. Let's go quickly check my Facebook. And because it is my personal Facebook I'm logged into, I need to be recording that. Anyway, because I didn't have this, but when I returned from Austria, so it was an early birthday present. Since I'm, one of those people who doesn't have patience. I've showed it before. And, I show things often. Yes, I've got a suitcase, an old Stavelitz battery, suitcase there. To have my monitor on top, just to support it, because my main monitor has a monitor arm. You see, just between the monitors, it's attached to a monitor arm, whereas the second one isn't, because I don't think that because then they've got this monitor from his office and the monitor arm. And I don't think because this one because it has different mounts. I don't think the same monitor arm, the same monitor arm would fit on this monitor, on the back because it's screwed to the back, and I don't think it would fit on that other monitor. That's the thing because they're different models. And of course, the mouse I use is this Logitech mouse. That's not what I was looking at. Yeah, it's taped to the desk, obviously, and the button's a bit damaged. Anyway, of course, I've got my 55-inch Samsung Crystal UHD TV, so Ultra HD. Now I've got my two controllers with rechargeable batteries, as everyone said to me, and of course, my one and only Xbox Series X, all digital. And then I also bought, because I wanted to record the Xbox. So it's all, you see that the edge has an HDMI going to the side of the TV. And it's a bit tricky to plug that in when you've mounted the TV on the wall. So you want to do it before you mount it on the wall. And then so this goes into this thing here, which is a capture card. It's an Elgato 4KS capture card. So Now that HDMI is going to the TV, and then in the middle, this USB-C goes to my computer, and then this HDMI goes to my Xbox. It's all plugged into a capture card, so I can capture it and stream it via my computer. You know, and then both my as you can see, there's a lot of cables on it. Both my consoles use a wired connection, but then there's the Arlo cable because we have a surveillance system around the house. But I used because I only have one port right there, which is internet. So because there are multiple ports, but only where none of the others work. The only one that works is where that cable is plugged. The internet plug is plugged in at the moment. That's the only port that has internet because it goes all the way to the living room. So the reason how I did this is to connect my Xbox and computer to the wired network. Is I had to use something called an Ethernet splitter right here. So I'm splitting up the network. There's two because one of them is the white one is the internet, obviously, because the splitter itself doesn't have internet. Also has power cord, and then got obviously the computer on the Xbox connected by this internet splitter, which splits up my internet by connecting to multiple devices. Yeah, I'm gonna record that. Behind my computer there's a power strip, there's a lot of stuff plugged in, and then I've got a second power strip that's back here. And so we have a light on it, there's all the other stuff plugged in. The internet splitter, the Xbox, my computer, it's all plugged into that power strip. The TV itself is plugged into the outlets, so into the wall, and then the other thing is all plugged in by this other plug. Yeah, there's a lot of cables down here. We've got two two power strips connected together. Yeah, it's not. No, you shouldn't really connect too much like that together, but it's the only thing I can think of, and it's been like that ever since. I mean, it hasn't, caused me any trouble, caught fire or anything, luckily. The last thing I want is that to catch fire, because that could easily spread to my console and everything, which would be bad. That actually caught fire. So I did smell the smell of burnt plastic once, because it was actually coming. It wasn't actually coming from my bedroom. It was coming from Mum and Dad's bedroom. Apparently, because they Mum's phone charger melted, because I think there was some sort of short circuit because the phone charger melted. There was because I was investigating as well. I couldn't see what's going on because it was dark there, so I grabbed the torch and then I saw the Mum's phone charger lying on the floor, and the USB-C part of it was melted. So that immediately unplugged it, and we also unplugged the power strip, because that was at fault. Because that was, I mean, that could have caught fire if we hadn't noticed that. If you hadn't noticed that when we did, that could have caught fire. Could have burned the house down. And it was really dangerous. That plug could have caught fire because it was already melted. And that could have caught fire. And that would have been really bad because that plug could have caught fire. And that could have burned the place down. And that could have burned the house down because that cord could have caught fire because it was already melted. I'm not sure why. It's probably some sort of Chinese garbage. That's probably why. And the thing is that cord melting, that's usually only caused by a short circuit, not just usually plugging it in doesn't just there must have been some sort of short circuit. I don't know. But because our breaker box is outside, obviously, next to my window, where the solar panel control thing is as well. But, yeah, once when my sister was here, she put a whole baguette in the toaster. And of course, that tripped the breaker because it was obviously pressing it. Because the baguette is so big, it presses against, because the toaster has these glowing wires, they get hot. And when something is pressing against those, that's going to cause a short circuit and trip the breaker. Because the reason the breaker it's a safety feature, obviously, to prevent further damage. That's why they trip in the first place, because to prevent further damage, further short circuiting. No, that's why it's obviously a safety feature. Otherwise, the house would burn down if it wasn't for that. If it wasn't for the power shutting itself off. I mean, yeah, no, it wouldn't be good. And then I always have the gas thing up there as well. The valve for it. Shut off the gas because we have natural gas for the Dad's barbecues connected to out in the back when we do barbecues. And because then there's because he used to have a barbecue, but when he was getting it up the stairs to the deck, the barbecue came off the wheels. It broke off the wheels when he was getting it up the stairs, so he had to get a new barbecue. That was a shocker. My ex-farm buddy had to take the barbecue into the dump in the back of his ute. Yeah, it was a shocker. And this, we also have a lot of boxes because, Dad likes to keep the boxes in case you have to send the item back. That's fine, we like to keep the boxes for a certain time, in case you have to send it back. Because you never know when you have to send something back. You never know when it's not going to work properly. So you want to make sure you keep the boxes in case you have to send it back. Yeah. There's been a few power outages here before. We've experienced those before because there was like faults, But now when the power goes out, because we have a Tesla battery as well. There's also other panels out there too because we have a Tesla battery. Yeah, usually, you know, we don't, Dad doesn't want to, we don't own a Tesla because we don't, Dad, doesn't want to buy a Tesla because we think that, Elon Musk is a fruitcake. Obviously, that's why. Because honestly, no, because Twitter is, called X now. But the thing is, you have to pay to stay verified. I mean, because the legacy verification didn't have to pay. I mean, why get rid of that? Why? I really don't get it, honestly. I mean, obviously, Elon Musk is already the richest man in the world. So why would he need all that money from people paying the subscription? I mean, if he's already the richest man in the world, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, there's different types of check marks as well. There's even a gold one, which is for businesses. You have to actually pay over $1,000 just to get your business verified. I mean, it's ridiculous. $1,000. Who's going to pay that much just to get a golden check mark for their business? Honestly. Anyway, because we have a Tesla battery. When the power goes out, half of our power is actually still powered by that battery because it keeps power by the solar panels because they charge in the sun. We use the solar panels. We use power from the sun. When in the summer, so we save money. Yeah? And, when our power goes out, the solar battery, the Tesla battery, not solar battery, the Tesla battery keeps half the, keeps half the house is still powered because of the battery. But when that runs out, everything goes out. So, and this is annoying because the only thing about that is the microwave and the oven don't keep the settings. So once the power goes out, they lose all the settings. So you have to set the time again once the power goes out because it doesn't keep. They don't keep the settings, unfortunately. Maybe power outages haven't happened here in a while. There's been we had quite a few frequent internet outages. So the last time that we rung up Dad rung up by iNet because that's our provider, and because we have a Transact box which is owned by iNet, so we can't get in any other provider. So they called, obviously they gave iNet a call, and well, the guy that picked up that he put down on hold, but he never came back to the call. That's the thing. That's the thing. He put down on hold, but he never came back to the call after 50 minutes, and there was not even any hold music. It was just completely quiet, like no one was on the other line anymore. Like they hung up because there was not even any hold music. If they put you on hold, there's usually hold music, but there wasn't any. So he never came back to the call. So then Dad hung up and called back, and then he was a bit pissed because he started complaining to iNet, how that the other the other guy the other guy that helped him and put him on hold, but never returned. He never came back to the call. That's when I thought, that we don't have internet because we didn't have internet. And we thought, because clearly we didn't, because at the time we didn't have internet, and apparently Iona didn't give a damn, obviously. So that, obviously, clearly Iona didn't give a damn that we didn't have any internet. Clearly they didn't give a damn at that time. Apparently they didn't give a damn that we didn't have any internet. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like they didn't give a rat's ass. Like they didn't give a damn. Honestly. They had to call back because he was put on hold. The guy that was talking to you before put him on hold, but he never returned. He never came back to the call. After putting Dad on hold, he never came back to the call. And in 15 minutes, and I got tired of waiting, so he hung up and called back because he got tired of waiting, and there was no hold music either. So it was like nothing. It was completely quiet. There's nothing going on. So Dad hung up and called back. They started complaining, because he was put on hold, but no one returned. The person the guy that put him on hold never returned the call. Never came back to the call. I mean, that was a bit ridiculous. Whoopsies. I mean, honestly, that was a bit ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I mean, why would you put someone on hold and then not return to the call? That makes no sense. Honestly. And anyway, yeah. Yeah. I mean, clearly they didn't give a damn, obviously. Excuse me, Ron. Bye-bye.